In section 1.7, we're going to be simplifying expressions. So we'll start with some definitions that we'll be using throughout and pretty much for the rest of the course. So first is terms. The terms of an algebraic expression are going to be the parts of the expression that are separated by addition. So if they're separated by addition, they're called terms. The coefficient is going to be the numerical part, or the number that is the numerical part of the term. We call a term constant a constant term if it's a term that's only a number, so no variable. The factors of a term are going to be the parts of the term that are being multiplied together. So we should remember that factors are things that are being multiplied. And then lastly, like terms are going to be terms that have the same exact variable factors. So like terms are terms that have the same variables raised to the same exponents. So let's see some examples of this because it's very, very important. So something like 7x and negative 2x, those are like terms because they both have the same variable factors. They both have an x as their variable, both raised to the power of 1. So the coefficients are 7 and negative 2. So those can be different. The variables have to be the same for like terms. Okay, we can also have something like 4y squared and negative y squared. So those are like terms because they both have a y squared variable factor. Coefficient of 4 and negative 1. Okay, and then something else like 3xy and negative xy. I'll put 3 of them here. And 10xy. So those are all like terms because they all have x, y variable factors. And doing one more, let's say we have negative 5 x squared y and 7 x squared y. So they both have the same variable factors of x squared y. So those are also like terms. Okay, so let's do this example, multiple part question example here. So let's say we have this algebraic expression, x squared plus 4x plus 5 plus 7x minus 2x squared. So first question, how many terms are there in this expression? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So remember, terms are separated by addition. So we have 5 terms. So you're probably saying, what about that last term that's separated by subtraction? So we could rewrite that as plus negative 2x squared, right? So it's still separated by addition in a way, as long as you're adding the negative. Okay, next question, what's the coefficient of the first term? The first term is going to be the x squared. So that is a 1x squared, so the coefficient is 1. So remember, if a coefficient is not written, it is a 1. Next one, what's the coefficient of the last term? So the last term is negative 2x squared. The coefficient is negative 2. So don't forget the negative on that. So coefficient, once again, being the numerical part of the term. So the constant term is going to be the term without a variable factor. That's going to be the one in the middle. That's going to be the term 5. Next one, what are the like terms in the expression? So we have an x squared and a negative 2x squared. And then we have a 4x and a 7x. So that was x squared and negative 2x squared are like terms. And then we also had 4x and 7x. So same variable factors. Last question, what are the factors of the second term? So the second term is 4x. The factors are what's being multiplied, so that means the factors of 4x are just 4. and x. Okay, so kind of moving on to the main part of this is combining like terms. So even though we've said it a million times, like terms are terms that have the same variables and the same exponents on those variables. So what we're going to be doing is if we're in an expression and we're adding or subtracting them, we can combine them. Technically what we're doing is using that distributive property in the reverse direction. So if we started with this right-hand side over here, a plus b times x, we said that we could distribute the x in, and we would get ax plus bx. We're going to be doing it in the reverse direction and saying ax plus bx equals combining a plus b and then multiplying by x. So let's see what this means in terms of an example. So we have 4x plus 15x. So you probably maybe know that this is just going to equal 19x. We have 4 x's, we're adding 15 of them to it. What technically is going on behind the scenes is the reverse direction of the distributive property. This would be 4 plus 15 times x. 4 plus 15, 19, so 19x. Okay, and then for the next one, 7a minus 2a. This is the same as 7 minus 2, and then times a, which is 5a. So both of these only had 2 terms a piece in them. So we obviously can have and will have 3 or more terms. In order to combine like terms when that happens, we're going to be using the commutative and associative properties to group like terms. So for this example, simplify by combining like terms. We have 7x plus 5 plus 3x plus 8. So technically, in order to combine this, what we're actually doing is using the commutative and associative properties of addition. So we can rewrite them or group them next to each other, like the like terms next to each other. So 7x plus 3x are like terms, plus the 5 plus 8. So we just reordered it. So now we can see 7x plus 3x, that's 10x, plus 5 plus 8, so 10x plus 13. Okay, and then for the next one we have 4x plus 7y plus 2x plus 3y. We can rewrite the like terms next to each other, make it 4x plus 2x, and then plus 7y plus 3y. 4x plus 2x is 6x, 7y plus 3y is 10y. So you don't have to rewrite it like that, and I won't be rewriting it like that, but just know that's technically what's going on behind the scenes, and that's why we can combine it like that. Okay, so let's get into the actual main questions for this section. So we're going to be simplifying these algebraic expressions. So we consider an algebraic expression simplified when the parentheses are completely gone and like terms have been combined. So with the parentheses being gone, that is most likely going to mean that we're going to have to distribute. So for all these problems, we're going to be distributing and combining like terms. So for this first one, let's simplify. We have 5 times 3x plus 7 plus 6x. So first we need to distribute the 5. So 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 7 is 35, so plus 35. And then plus that 6x. So we have like terms here, 15x plus 6x. 15 plus 6 is 21. So 21x plus 35. All like terms are combined, so we're done. Next one, we have 8x plus, I'm going to get rid of this x, that's actually not supposed to be there. We have 8x plus 2 times 5 minus x minus 3. So order of operations, I'm going to go inside the brackets. So remember, brackets are just parentheses, but we use them when we already have parentheses, when we have parentheses inside parentheses. So inside of the bracket, we have 5 minus, and then x minus 3. I'm going to distribute this negative 1. So it's negative, it says negative, but remember it's technically a negative 1. So distributing that and writing everything else. 5, so negative 1 times x, that's going to be minus x. Negative 1 times negative 3, positive 3. So now going into this bracket, we have 5 minus x plus 3. We can combine 5 plus 3. So don't let the negative on the x screw you up. It's 5 plus 3. The negative is on the x. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So we get 8 minus x in those brackets. And next we can distribute the 2. So distributing the 2, because remember those are just parentheses, 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times negative x, we get minus 2x. So the like terms here, we have 8 minus 2x. That's going to give us 6x, and then 6x minus 16 is going to be our final answer for that one. Okay, and then for C here, we have 6 times 2x plus 4y plus 10 times 4x plus 3y. So we have two sets of parentheses, so we know we're going to have to distribute twice. So we're going to have to distribute the 6 and distribute the 10. So distributing the 6 times 2x is 12x, plus 6 times 4y is 24y. Now distribute the positive 10. 10 times 4x is 40x. 10 times positive 3y, so plus 30y. So combining like terms, we have 12x plus 40x, which is going to give us 52x. And then we also have 24y plus 30y, or like terms. So that gives us 54y. So 52x plus 54y. Let's do two more. So next one we have negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 3 times x minus y plus 2x squared minus 5y. Okay, first one we have a negative out front, so remember that's negative 1. So we have to distribute a negative 1 into that first set of parentheses, and then we have to distribute a positive 3 into the next set of parentheses. So distributing the negative 1 is just going to negate everything. So it's going to be negative 3x squared plus 4x. Next, distributing the 3, we're going to get plus 3x minus 3y plus 6x squared. And then minus that 5y all the way at the end. Okay, so once you have everything expanded out like this, locate your like terms. We have an x squared term here, x squared term here. Negative 3x squared plus 6x squared. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3. So that's going to be 3x squared. Next, we have an x term. We have 4x plus 3x. That's going to be plus 7x. And then we have negative 3y minus 5y. So negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8, so negative 8y. So 3x squared plus 7x minus 8y. Last one, make it a little bit more complicated. We have 3 times a squared plus 4a squared b minus ab squared plus a squared minus 6 times a squared b minus ab squared. So we have 3 sets of parentheses, so we're going to have to distribute 3 times. So first distributing this 3 to both terms, then distribute that negative 1 to both terms, and then distribute the negative 6 to both terms. So distributing that 3, it's going to be 3a squared, 3 times 4 plus 12a squared b. Next one, distribute the negative 1. So it's going to be minus ab squared minus a squared. And then distribute the negative 6. It's going to be negative 6 a squared b. Negative times a negative for the last part, plus 6 ab squared. Okay, so now for identifying like terms so we can combine them. We have a 3a squared minus a squared. 3 minus 1 is 2, so 2a squared. Next, we have an a squared b term, and then we have another a squared b term. So 12a squared b minus 6a squared b is going to be 12 minus 6, so plus 6a squared b. Just had to change that color on there. And then for the last one, we have negative ab squared plus 6ab squared. So that's going to be negative 1 plus 6, so plus 5ab squared. So when you're adding or subtracting or by combining like terms, the variable factors don't change. You're just adding or subtracting the coefficients. Okay, so that is it for section 7 or 1.7.